So next comes Archimedes principle. So in Archimedes principle, um, when an object is wholly I'll tell the principle first. When an object is wholly or partially immersed in a liquid, it experiences an upward force that is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object. So buoyant force is also called as upthrust acting on the object is equal to weight of object displaced by it. So next comes application of Archimedes principle. Archimedes principle is used in determining the relative density of a substance. Okay, the hydrometers used for determining the density of liquids are based on Archimedes principle. The lactometers also. Okay, it is used to measure the purity of the milk, and Archimedes principle is also used in designing ships and submarines. So why the object float or sink in a liquid? As you already know, the iron nail sinks whereas coke floats in water because of the density, difference in density. If the density of the object is more, it will sink. If the density of the object is less, it will float. Okay, so the three cases arises over here. If the buoyant force exerted by the liquid is less than the weight of the object will sink, correct? If the buoyant force exerted by the liquid is equal to the weight of the object will float in the liquid where it is suspended. When the buoyant force exerted by the liquid is more than the weight of the object will rise in the liquid and then float. Okay, so this is all about buoyancy and upthrust and Archimedes principle. Okay, fine. So now let us discuss the principle of flotation. So principle of flotation is also the same. An object will float in a liquid if the weight of the object is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by it. So in that case the object will float. Okay, so density of floating object. The object will float if the density is less than the liquid. The object will also float in a liquid if its density is equal to the weight of the liquid. The object will sink in a liquid if the density is more than that of the liquid. You can see the pictures, that is iron nail sinking in water and iron nail floating in mercury. Okay. And now, how does a boat float in water? All might have a question. You can see the picture also. You can also see the thing. When a boat is gradually lowered into water, it displaces more and more water, due to which the buoyant force also increases. The boat stops sinking further down into the water, where the buoyant force acting on it is just enough to support the weight of the boat. When the boat is floating, the weight of water displaced by submerged part of the boat is equal to the weight of the boat. When more people get into the boat sinks more. As long as the weight of the boat and the people together is equal to the weight of the water displaced by the boat, it floats. When no water can be displaced by the boat, it sinks. Density. Density of the substance is defined as the mass of the substance per unit volume. Density is equal to mass of the substance by volume. So what is density? Density is nothing but thickness of the object. Okay, or we can say as mass of a substance by volume. If the density is more, the mass also will be more. If the density is less, mass will be less. So density is directly proportional to mass and it is inversely proportional to volume. So imagine there are 10 cars in one shed and 5 cars in another shed. Which is more denser? Yes, obviously correct. The 10 cars will be denser. So density depends on mass. Mass is nothing but amount of matter in a body. So in this example, the amount of car is 10, so the density is more. The amount of car is 5, so the density will be less compared to the 10 cars. Okay, so density formula will be mass by volume, and the SI unit of density is kg per meter cube, and the CGS unit will be gram per centimeter cube. Okay, so now the last and final topic will be relative density. So relative density is very simple and easy to understand as well. So relative density is the ratio of density to that of the water. The formula of relative density is density of the substance by density of water. I'll repeat, density of the substance by density of water. So relative density does not have any unit because the formula is density by density, no, it will get cancelled since they are having the same units. So it has no units, okay? And so the relative density of different substance is different. So I'll provide certain substances, that is the table which shows the substance and the density and its relative density. Okay, so the relative density of water will be like 1000 only. It is a constant value, so we can divide and get the answer. Okay, so example, the substance is, let us take it as coke. Okay, so the density of the substance is 240. So when you divide 240 by 1000, the answer will be like 0.24. So when you take an example of wood, 800, so 800 divided by 1000 is 0.8. Ice 920 divided by 1000 is 0.92. Okay, 1000 by 1000 1. So 1260 for glycerin divided by 1000 is 1.26. 2500 divided by 1000 is 2.5 for glass. For aluminium, the relative, so the density of the substance is 2700. So divide by 1000, 2.7 will be the relative density. For iron, it is 7.8 relative density. For silver, the relative density is 10.5. For mercury, 13.6. For gold, it is 19.3. For platinum, it is 21.4. So relative density depends on densities of two things. One is density of substance, another one is density of water. So relative density is the ratio of density of substance to the density of water. So hope you got clarity in the lesson gravitation. So far we discussed about what is gravitation, what is free fall, what are the Kepler's laws, and what is acceleration due to gravity, what is mass and weight, thrust and pressure, Archimedes principle, and density and relative density. Okay, so these are the things, and that is to be discussed. So thank you all. Thank you for watching and listening the video. Thank you.